Hey everybody, in this video I want to show you how to solve this system of equations using elimination. Now remember, a system of equations means that you've got two equations together. Usually there's a curly bracket here to tie them together nicely visually. And when you see that, you're always trying to find a pair of numbers that makes both equations true. So we're going to be looking for an ordered pair, an x number and a y number as we solve this thing. Now, elimination means that we're going to try to eliminate one of the variables. When I eliminate a variable, I usually go through 3 questions in my brain just to try to keep things organized and nice and easy. So I'm going to go through those 3 questions right here, starting with question number 1. Is everything lined up? Now this question is just kind of like a visual check just to make sure that you're not going to get stumped later on. You just want to make sure your x's are with each other, your y's are with each other, your equals needs to be together, and your constants need to be together as well. If they weren't together, you would need to make sure that you're following the equations rules. Anyway, it's complicated, but we're good on this example, so let's keep going. So everything is lined up. Number 2, do we have the same number with the same letter? So what I like to do is I like to look at my x's, and they have different numbers in front of them. So then I say, all right, let's look at my y's. My y's have different numbers in front of them as well. There's an invisible 1 here. There's a 7 here. So before we can move on, we've got to address this issue. There's actually 2 good ways we could solve this. I'm just going to go for what's easiest for my brain because sometimes I struggle. But basically, what you would do is maybe start with your x's and say, okay, could I multiply my smaller number by anything to get to the bigger number? And for sure, 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to do that. But just in case you didn't notice, you could have also looked at your y's and said, can I multiply 1 by anything to get to 7? And for sure, you could multiply that by 7. Let's stick with the 2's though, because I'm struggling a little bit today. And so what I'm going to do is, I want to multiply this entire top equation by 2. So I'm going to rewrite that down here. 5 times 2 is going to be 10x plus, we have 2 times 1y, that'll be 2y, equals 18. All right, so let's just kind of ignore this top equation for the time being. And now we do have the same number with the same letter because we have 10x. The last question is, do we have the same number with opposite signs? In other words, do these 10x's have opposite signs? Well, right now they're positive because remember, you got to look in front of them, not over here, you know? So since they're both positive, what we're going to need to do is change all of the signs in one of the equations. I usually just look for whichever equation has the most negatives so I can get rid of them. I hate negatives. So I'm going to change all of the signs in this top equation. Here, I'll use red. So this is going to become negative 10x plus 7y plus 18. So now we do have a negative 10x and a positive 10x. If you can answer yes to all 3 of those questions that we just went through, then we're going to add straight down. Negative 10x plus 10x is 0x. We just eliminated. If you can't eliminate a variable right now, you've done something wrong. You need to go through those questions again. 7y plus 2y is 9y. 18 plus 18 is 36. Let's divide both sides by 9, and we get that the y value is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my answer over there. It's a good reminder that we're only halfway done with this process. Now that we know our y number, we need to go ahead and find our x number. So for our x number, we're going to pick one of the equations, whichever one looks easier. I think this one looks a lot easier than the other one. And we're going to replace the y value with the number 4, because we know that y is 4. So I can rewrite this as 5x plus 4 equals 9. And now I'm going to try to get x by itself. For me, I find this easiest to read from the variable. If I started the variable, I could say x times 5 plus 4. Now to undo all of that, we're going to do opposite operations backwards. I'm going to start by subtracting 4 from both sides. 5x equals 5. And then we're going to divide by 5 on both sides. And we get that x equals 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my answer, and the final solution to this system of equations is the ordered pair 1, 4. Hope that helps you on your question.